myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are talking about 43 number of PHP. In this basically we are looking at the while loop. One of the person told that what is this here basically? It will goes to this. Here it's 1. 1 is less than 6. Yes, basically it's correct. It will go to this and it will print 1. This basically we have already see the operator basically plus plus. So it will go to plus and it will increment as a value of 1 basically. So like this basically the data basically works and prints the data basically, and the less than 6 basically is the condition. Equal to we are not doing. If we will give here equal to, then it will check equal to 6 basically. So here basically we have given less than 6 basically. Same way break basically we know. Continuous means continue basically, don't go out. Why? If condition this will increment. If condition is 3 basically, then it will continue. Else basically it will go here, and the while loop will continue basically until basically this condition fails basically. If this is greater than this, then condition will fail basically. So it will go out from the loop basically. So there are many alternatives basically of while loop. These all are the alternatives basically. So that basically you can see in the website also basically. Anywhere basically you can see. You can have the syntax of the website, but mostly basically all syntax of while loop basically are same in all the programming. Sometime basically in .NET basically, in C# also basically condition is same basically, but in ASP.NET basically, that is the language basically. One language is C# and one language is ASP.NET. So when you go to the ASP.NET basically, that time basically this condition will not work. Why? Because its syntax basically is connected with the VB.NET. That is basically the Visual Basic. Previously we were using Visual Basic software, Fox Pro basically we were using, D2K basically we were using. So that condition is connecting to this basically of the ASP.NET. So that depends upon the requirement of the company basically, which language basically they basically don't know. The client basically don't know the language, the front end, the .NET, but they know that Microsoft. They don't know internally basically, but they only know one company, that is Microsoft. But they know basically, that is 100% sure. So they deploys their projects, they basically creates their projects according to. So client basically know everything basically. It's not like that basically client are bloody fools. Client are very intelligent group basically. So they know everything basically. Before, after that only basically they gives the project to the particular company. So company might be, software company might be thinking that basically they don't know anything, but it's very dangerous. They know everything basically, because they know that basically Microsoft is created from 1,000 cities, because they are doing the investment basically. If one person basically is doing the investment in bank, in mutual funds, so they basically might be having some certain level of information, right? Otherwise basically the banks basically. So one of the person told that the product basically which is launched basically in the each and every banks basically, they basically are doing their task basically. If they are not doing their task, then basically it's very dangerous. But somebody basically should be there who should monitor the investment basically, but there is no one basically in India. Even basically the businessmen basically don't have any care of their people basically. That's why basically every people say that by India se nikal jao basically. Indian businessmen basically only think of themselves. Indian national public, that is the Indian government basically, they also basically never thought of their nationality. One of the person told us, Sunil, if you might be in Pakistan basically, your video basically might have at least basically 100 crore like, but you are in India basically. So that's the problem basically. India basically never supports the people basically. So that is basically fact here basically. This is fact basically, and fact basically are always not adjustable. Not acceptable. People basically don't accept the fact, and basically I am not working, so that is the fact basically. But sometimes basically I don't accept basically, but I have to accept basically I am not working, I am not earning the money. So that's why basically one of the person told that the best way is basically instead of staying in India basically go with Pakistan basically. Like basically Yogi Adityanath basically says that if you like Pakistan basically then you go to Pakistan here basically. That is good. But one person basically is Indian basically, then basically why he should go to Pakistan? Basically? That is also question basically. So here basically again back to our topic basically from Pakistan India basically. See basically do while loop is there basically. Both are basically same, but some certain condition it will enter first, then basically check the condition. Break is always a break and continue basically everybody knows. Continue statement basically is there. The if condition, while condition, for loop basically, while loop, these all are basically common basically. If you can understand this thing basically in one programming language, then it's same in all basically. Just the major will be syntax. The syntax might be totally different. If you are working in ASP.NET, the syntax is different. If you are working in C sharp, the syntax is totally different. If you are, this ASP.NET and C sharp basically comes under .NET basically. If you are working in Oracle PLSQL, Oracle basically is one database. Inside that basically one language is there, that is Oracle PLSQL. If you are working in Oracle PLSQL, then basically the syntax is totally different. If you are working Microsoft SQL Server, in Microsoft SQL Server PLSQL store procedures basically, there basically the syntax are totally different basically. But the task basically which if condition, while loop and do while loop, for loop basically, that basically do same thing basically. So that is the good point here basically in this video basically, if you understand this video basically. So see basically for loop basically means it will directly assign the zero, it will directly check the condition, and it will directly increment the stuff also basically in one, from one line only, and then basically it will print this basically. So here basically the data is going to print basically. So here basically it will print from 1 to 10 basically. So break condition is always there. Here basically the condition comes inside. If conditions, if it's 3, then basically it will break. So this for loop basically will get exit basically after this will get the 3 value basically. So you can just imagine basically lots of basically stuffs basically. If condition C basically again continue step 10 basically. So next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about this topic.